We are just a few days away from the presidential polls, and all eyes, that is, are on the important state of Pennsylvania. Back in 2020, the Keystone State clinched the presidency for Joe Biden with just a few thousand votes. The question is now whether or not Kamala Harris can keep this battleground state blue come November. Take a look at this report.
With its 19 electoral votes, Pennsylvania has one of the highest counts among all states. And it will be a major prize this year as well, in a tight race between former U.S. President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Kamala Harris. In a nutshell, it is hard to win the White House without Pennsylvania. 10 out of 12 presidential winners have won the battleground state of Pennsylvania. Hence, the state could be a bellwether for the race's ultimate outcome. And needless to say, its prize, 19 electoral votes, has made it one of the most visited states by both the contestants. Let's now see how Pennsylvania voted in the past elections. In 2020, the state voted for the blue camp. U.S. President Joe Biden had won the state by a 1.2-point margin and was the 23rd biggest margin for Biden among the 50 states. Meanwhile, in 2016, the battleground state of Pennsylvania voted for the red camp. Former U.S. President Donald Trump had won the state with 48.6% votes compared to Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton's 47.9%. According to experts, Pennsylvania has a 35% chance of determining the election outcome in November. If Harris wins Pennsylvania, then she has a 91% chance of winning the presidency, while Trump would have 96% chance if he prevails. Trump was, in fact, the first Republican to win the battleground state since George W. Bush in 1988. Biden had won the state in 2020, ultimately securing him the required electoral votes to unseat Trump. The high stakes are also reflected in the substantial investment in ads in the state. Democrats have spent $114 million this year and Republicans around $102 million for television and radio ads in Pennsylvania, far surpassing the spending in other battleground states. Pennsylvania's mix of urban and rural population makes it a competitive state for the presidential contestants. The demographics of the state also presents a unique challenge. With 74.5% of the state's voters non-Hispanic white, African Americans at 12.2% and Hispanics at 8.6%. For Trump, this could mean targeting voters of color, which polling suggests is an opportunity to win more voters than what he received in 2020. Meanwhile, for Harris, the battle is whether she can win over Republican voters. Experts say that the smallest shifts can be incredibly impactful in a state in which the last two presidential races were decided by less than 1 percentage point. Pennsylvania is also the state where the first presidential debate between Trump and Harris took place, and is also significant for Trump, especially as he was shot dead while speaking at a rally in Butler on July 14th. Like many other states, inflation, economy, reproductive rights, and border security are the top issues among the voters in Pennsylvania. Harris has centered her campaigning around abortion and reproductive rights. Meanwhile, Trump hammered Harris over her past opposition to fracking, which is the technique which is used to produce most U.S. oil and gas today. The topic of fracking is all the more important for the state because Pennsylvania is the second largest U.S. producer of natural gas. Since 1948, no Democrat has won the White House without winning Pennsylvania, which makes the political stakes especially high this time around for Harris. And with polls showing the race essentially tied here, Pennsylvania could once again be the state that tips the U.S. elections this year.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.